What is your opinion of restraining orders in general?
I think that there's there's the possibility that they can be misused at times. It does not take much to walk into a court and to make an accusation. Courts are very inclined to grant restraining orders because they see no downside. They believe that if a person feels strongly enough to go into court, that there's no danger to them for granting it. Last thing that judges want to see on the front of the paper is somebody injured where a restraining order was denied.
We're rolling. Okay, I'm going to read a letter that Brett Davidson wrote to my landlords. One of two. This is the one I thought was interesting. It's dated June 1st, 2002. Dear Jeff and Mary, enclosed is my rent for June. Also enclosed, you will find a copy of the police report that I filed with the city of Beverly Hills regarding Cliff Carson stalking me. I thought you should have a copy since it pertains to activities going on within your building.
I think that, at least in my perception of him, that's his real personality right there, a little boy.
Yeah.
I have to say that in my professional opinion, when I first heard about this story, I thought maybe Cliff is a stalker.
It's the biggest peacetime mobilization of troops since before World War II.
You could be, I mean, lots of, somebody has to be. Like,
Okay.
if somebody's related to a stalker, maybe
Right.
you are. You know,
Right.
people get obsessed with, I've been obsessed with people, maybe Cliff is a stalker.
It might seem like everywhere you look, there's a lawyer. What you need is to sign your will at the very end of the document. Plus, you also need to get 2 witnesses. I'm standing here in front of the courthouse. Now, this is the last place you want your loved ones duking it out.
In the city of Los Angeles, a temporary restraining order is granted to virtually anyone who applies for it. At this time, the plaintiff and defendant are instructed to get attorneys. A court date is then scheduled a month later where a judge decides whether a permanent restraining order is warranted. If the judge orders a permanent restraining order in favor of the plaintiff, then the defendant's name is automatically transferred into the police department's criminal database for a period of 3 years. The defendant is ordered to stay 300 yards away from the plaintiff. If there are any violations, let's say the defendant and the plaintiff accidentally happen to run into each other at a movie or a concert or a grocery store, the defendant can find himself serving jail time. I had never been issued anything more than a speeding ticket. If it hadn't been but for this minor detail, I would have gladly given Mr. Davidson his silly restraining order. I didn't care.
Hey Cliff, it's Brett. I just didn't know if you were watching the TV. Looks like we attacked Afghanistan. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
It sounds like 2 good friends equally interested, and then suddenly one person goes cold. But at the same time sending messages, you know, let's get together, come over to my house and film my Christmas tree. No, I don't want you to take a picture of me. You're aiming a camera at me. It wasn't a gun, it was a camera.
Practice that one.
I sure hope Annie's right, because we could use some sunshine around here. But this is definitely the time to buy sunglasses, because you are going to need them. They're very stylish to wear, but they also serve a very important purpose.
Even the facts from his point of view. So what? So you said hello to him? So you called him on the telephone? So you took a picture of him in his kitchen when he said, take pictures in my living room? I mean, it was just his head. I would say as a reporter, if somebody lets me into their house to take pictures, I have no reason to think they can't be a part of the pictures.
Well, I think that you both developed a strong friendship, meaning that you know, you're neighbors, but you also interacted as friends. And it was innocent. I mean, it was just basically you were friends and you had a nice time together, you interacted. It was sort of disconcerting to the fact that why all this came about. There was really no need for it. I think it was more of somebody wanting attention and maybe wanting some drama going on. You guys were friends. Plain and simple, you were friends.
Well, I thought, that's right. I remember when I read it, I thought it was quite clear that you were in the right, and that it seemed like you had a very strong case. And it read almost like an episode of a television show. I mean, it was fun to read. I enjoyed reading it, but it didn't seem like, I just think the whole case was, nonsense to begin with, that he brought against you, and I just think that was proven out from what I read in the transcript.
It's like, why can't you, if he's talking about something about, you being too close, you live across the hall from each other. That is what's so absurd. It's not like he lives in another building and you're going up and down his hall.
So what are you doing out here?
Well, I can't be sure, but I think I'm staining some wood.
Brett made such a big deal when I went down to make a Christmas video that he wanted me to with the camera, and he said, "Oh, don't photograph me." He just said it nonchalantly. "Oh, I don't want to be in the tape, And I was doing dissolves.
It's uncomfortably hot in here, isn't it?
And I got this.
That's the problem. But come over without your video camera sometime. You'll have a great time in here too.
Working in his kitchen. I did the dissolve, and he turned around and said, "Cliff," and he pulled his curtain, and that was it.
Cliff.
Did he flash you?
It would have probably made for funnier video, but no. But later on I hear that I violated something because...
He's worse than women.
Yeah, that's exactly it is. What is he hiding? Somebody hides when they act like that.
Maybe he doesn't want you to see his women's clothing.
There was never anything in the whole thing that made me think that he had any reason to be afraid. I can't even believe he ever thought he had any reason to be afraid of you, or concerned for his safety, or in any way concerned. He ran into you running into somebody in a theater full of people, and they came over and sat near you is not a scary thing. You're probably sitting nearer 10 other people that are more dangerous. There's no reason he should be concerned about sitting near somebody in a big theater.
Yeah, he wanted to go because he wanted to get off his lease. Well, you're not allowed to leave before the lease is over.
Hey, it's Brett, and I guess I'll talk to you later when I get home. Bye.
Every time he would say, "I don't ever want to see you anymore," and then he would call, then he would give a present, or then he would write a really sweet note saying, "No, I don't want the present because I care too much about you and your financial situation." So I thought he was continuing to try to pull Cliff in, try to get him to keep coming, and at the same time saying in court that he didn't want this to continue. But it seemed to me that the judge had to get that he had to see that as far as Cliff was concerned, it did end.
Well, I think judges in this situation are in a difficult position. All judges want to do the right thing. In this particular situation, he's not out there. Again, he doesn't see any downside in granting a restraining order. So if there's some possibility that somebody could be harassed or even injured, he's always going to side on the air of caution. And I think that's important for people who are in this situation to understand, is that they try to be fair and they're going to err on the side of caution. I think it's an unfortunate use of taxpayers' money and the time and energy involved by everybody. Mr. Carson, Mr. Davidson, the attorneys, the court's time. I think it was unfortunate and it was not necessary that it come to this come to this position.
If you would read the entire transcript, I felt that so many allegations were made that contradicted them. I mean, at one point you're saying that, you know, that this person is afraid of you, and then later on they're asking you to go and get medicine for them. Well, if you're afraid of someone, you're not going to ask them to come over and help you. So there's just so many things like that that are contradictory that no one could be afraid.
I can see why Cliff was very confused, and I don't know how you would refuse somebody in the middle of the night who calls for help. So I think this guy was very cruel. He tried to take away the academy, which was something Cliff really enjoyed and got a lot of pleasure out of, and was very convenient to him, and really had no relation to anything else in here. But that was just something he saw he could take away. So it seems to me there was a little libel involved and harassment on the part of Brett too.
Well, I mean, that's just getting mad at someone. That's not crazy. And him changing his phone number, oh please, what are we, 90210?
This is so, you know, girly junior high. But the way he's describing it, so it's like either total paranoia or total melodrama. Because he couldn't, I mean, in his right mind, really believe this nonsense. Unless you were going to hurt him. And when the police asked me if you were dangerous or if you had weapons, I said, absolutely not. I've known him for 20 years. Absolutely not. He's never been violent.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think this is something that just got out of hand. I mean, it could have been settled just by sitting down talking to each other rather than taking it to this level, and the expense that it went to. And even now, how far it has gone, that it's just blown out of proportion.
Well, taking advantage of the situation for whatever reason, I haven't figured that out yet.
We have home movies from John Huston, Shirley Temple, Fred Zinnemann. In our collection here, we have virtually everything from the first movie ever made to current films that have won Academy Awards. It was the thing to do to go to the drive-in Monday night.
I'm upset that the whole thing happened in the first place. And that, everybody's like ghouls. It's like jackals going after the dead body.
Because he knew you guys were talking on the phone for hours at a time. He knew exactly what you were going through. And it's like, God, are you kidding me that you would add this on top of all that? Like, what a pathetic...
Well, I can't be sure, but I think I'm staining some wood.
What an asshole this guy is. Like, that's what I read, and I'm just like, why would you be so awful to someone?
Why do you think he wanted to involve the Academy from reading that?
Because that would be the most dramatic and awful thing he could do.
Drama, 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 drama.
It's like he needed a drama surrounding him. He needed to be stalked, but he wanted to be stalked by a real dangerous person. So it was like he picked you. It wasn't even good casting. But it was really like he needed a drama swirling around him, so everybody would say, "Oh, poor thing," and everybody would look at him, and he would get all this attention. Yeah, he needed to be a martyr, a hero. Oh, look at him, poor thing, he's being stalked. He's in danger. What's happening with you today? So suddenly he had this melodrama going around him.
Well, he was affected.
He would do something, and then he would call me and then inform me that this is how it was going to be. I don't like that, by the way.
Say about so you're sick. He's a stalker.
Right.
But at the same time, you're calling him to go and get you medicine. You're calling your stalker to get you medicine. Yes. That's. I mean, what's wrong with people? Why you gotta be so bad to someone?
And if he was really afraid of you, he would never go on the rooftop with you. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
Find some neutral place, perhaps.
It's not like he's got Ray Guy and a fabulous... Few teams need a win as bad as the Cleveland Browns and Bud Carson.
Tam to snap, Pagel to hold. Win or lose here from 30. Cleveland wins it. Whew. What a game.
What a game for Bud Carson. So much pressure. Well, thank God suicide isn't an option.
I think I thought the same thing Linda did. You know, that it was totally unnecessary. Didn't make any sense that they were happening from what I read. And when you read through the whole thing, you see that
Bud Carson, defensive coordinator for so many years, now in his first job as a head coach, he did not like the confusion and expresses his anger on the sidelines to Mike Johnson. That's our story with 7:14 remaining.
crazy.
Well, with respect to Mr. Davidson, I think that he unfortunately did create a situation in his own mind which was not supported by the facts in this case. I do believe that he believed that in what he was saying. I don't believe that he was doing this for any other reason other than his some sense of need that he had.
Drama! Well, we all know what's really going on here.
What's that?
Is that Brett at least has a tendency there, and it scared him to death, and he was like, I don't want any part of this, and I hate you because you're making me feel something that makes me not like myself. So I'm going to persecute you for this. Exactly. We all know that.
Good morning, sunshine. I was calling to see if you're sober and still mad at me. Hey, you there? I know you're not sleeping. I saw your newspaper's gone this morning. Get up. So, Ahab, are you home? Are you there? Yeah, I wonder what you were listening to. Cliff, this is Brett, and I would appreciate it if you did not sit upstairs and talk to the neighbors. Me, I'm calling you back. Bye. I was going to call you back last night, and then it got late. I understand that you're never speaking to me again, but I thought I'd give you a call anyway. There you go. I'll check in with you later. I'm sure you're sleeping. Okay, bye.
That you freaked him out in all the ways we were talking about, and then at the same time, like all of a sudden, like it was all this drama, and everybody was like, "Oh, so what's going on? So what's going on?" So it just got this momentum, and like it was like, "Oh, well, this and this and this," and it just kept going, kept going, kept going. And you know what? That is the most childish, ruining someone's life, you know?
I actually felt good, because you know what I thought to myself? I don't give a frog's fat ass what this guy does, because I'll just turn around and if I lose my money, I'll just attach it to the damages that I'm going to seek against Cliff.
I'm the victim in this?
Victim of what?
Well, how bad? I mean, the part I played in it.
I think you're a sweet person. I think you're in with a bunch of jackals. And
Oh, I think, yes, I think you were a friend to him, especially if you would get up and go get him medicine after he had done all this to you.
Of the defendant, Mr. Carson, in this matter, I'm impressed that in light of all the accusations which were made of him, that over the last 14 years, knowing that he had many common connections with Mr. Davidson, that he fully complied with the orders of the court, which was to have no contact, and he did that. And I think that speaks volumes about the underlying merits of this case.
No, but I love you. You are a good friend of mine, and you are a good friend to me. And I've known you for years, and I respect you, And I think you're full of love and respect and dignity, integrity, and that's how I feel about you. You couldn't hurt a fly.
Well, knowing you for many years, I know you, and I know, your nature and your character, and you get very enthusiastic, and you're very friendly, and you're very genial, and you like to attach yourself to people in a very friendly way. And apparently somebody misinterpreted it or misjudged it for something else. That was what I ascertained from it.
I mean, he called Cliff in the middle of the night to ask him to go get medicine for him. If you're afraid of somebody and you don't want to have anything to do with that person, you do not call them in the middle of the night and ask them for help. You usually have a support system of friends, and you call your very best friend, and then you go down the line, next best, third best, and obviously he thought Cliff was a person he could depend on most.
But I just want to not think about it. I want the day to come where I've got my mind totally focused on something more important, of value, because this has been just a test and a trial and a hearing and a nightmare and a horror story.
That court thing lingered.
But he did everything he could to elicit a reaction out of me, setting up little sabotages. Every day there was a little sabotage. Hopefully I would fall into, so he'd have something else that he could use against me. He's changed all the names on the box, except for mine. In fact, we were on this roof for 3 hours. That's really the last conversation we had. And we stormed away like the prissy bitch. Well, he is. I mean, there's no other word for him in being that. What they did, they just had an absolute, when it came to me, they just had an absolute score on being evil. And there's no other word for them. Brett had a friend named Vianette Sellers, who I'd only met once. She smuggled a camera inside the courthouse and took a picture of me illegally.
Why is it that you don't want to sue him for libel?
Because I don't want to be involved with him in any way, shape, or form. I just want out of it. I want out of it. I don't want to extend it. I'm tired of the mudslinging. I haven't slung any of the mud. He did. I've just been on the defensive.
But couldn't you just turn it over to an attorney if you sued him?
Attorneys, they want money.
Why we were there, I still cannot fathom.
Because he does operate in a passive-aggressive manner. He didn't understand that I was in post-mourning, is what that was.
In light of what happened today in court, I think that what you've been saying for the last 12, 14 months was true, which is that you would never posed a threat to him, and that this was as much in his mind as it was anywhere else, and that the justice was finally done.
This was basically misdirected animosity. I became the embodiment of everyone who'd ever hurt him in his life. He's an excellent actor because he's convinced. He's very convincing when he speaks. He used it for his own benefit, his way of being in the spotlight of the Academy.
How would you react if he walked out of that door onto this roof right now?
Nothing. I'd be like, well, there you are again, on the roof, so what? I have no plans to react to anything that he does. I will not react. I would just go on my business. I wouldn't behave like he's behaved. I wouldn't get all indignant.
It's just blown out of proportion. Something so minor. This happens every day with neighbors, but I guess if you're kind of a scaredy cat, maybe things might be different.
It wouldn't faze me. I would act like it just didn't faze me one way or another.
I just think he wanted to create some drama. That's what it seemed like to me. And he just wanted to make a big deal out of nothing.
It seemed to me really an overreaction.
I think he has some paranoia.
Deal with it yourself. You don't involve all these other people.
It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I don't know how he could say what he said to the judge. It's unbelievable.
Because it's totally. Who is he kidding? He's not, has absolutely nothing to be afraid of. I mean, even in like, if it bugs you to see a person every day. He didn't see you, he says he didn't see you every day. But then he would call because he needed you to do something or he wanted a favor or something.
There was no reason for him. He knew I was a harmless individual, but he took the least, anything he could and tried to use it against me in a negative way. Oddly enough, I wouldn't be without this experience. As horrible as it was, I've grown from it and I've learned, and I can't see how this helped him in any way, shape, or manner. This put a lot of doubt on his credibility, and I think this only brought him negative in the way of, but not compared to me. I mean, I got the brunt of it. I mean, I was just attacked, period, and there's no other word for what happened to me. I think he should really need to try to be understanding, learn to be a little bit more understanding and patient and compassionate, and not so single-mindedly self-absorbed. I don't want any harm to come to him.
This is my life. It's not what
I had sympathy for him and his ailments, and for the most part, I wanted what he wanted for himself, as I would any of my friends. I think he needs to find his celebrity stalker someplace else. Because it ain't me. I may be a lot of things, but the stalker across the hall, I'm not. And if he were any kind of an artist, he'd understand artist obsessions. But he's not.
now that we're here, so far away. All the struggle we fought was in vain, and all the mistakes one life could take, they all finally start to go away. And now that we're here, so far away, and I feel like I can face the day, and I can forgive, and I'm not ashamed to be the person that I am today. These are my words I've never said before. I think I'm doing okay. This is the smile I've never shown before. Somebody shake me, 'cause I must be sleeping. Now that we're here, so far away, all the struggle we thought was in vain, and all the mistakes one life contained, they all finally start to go away. And now that we're here, so far away, and I feel like I can face the day, I can forgive, and I'm not ashamed to be the person that I am today.
Be that as it may, I really don't care about not being able to see a screening, which is basically what this is, I think, has to do with. What guy you know carries pepper spray? Say whatever you want. But let's not forget, he did it, we all know he did it, because I was completely obsessed. Somewhat delusional. A liar, a sneak, and a thief. I think he projects a lot. I think everything that he says about me is really true about himself. So now when he speaks or he attacks me, I'm thinking, Brett, I think you should go back and sort of look at your own life. Maybe that same thing can be applied to you. But be that as it may, I'll have to go on with my life. Somehow. I'll try. You know I'll try. Hard. Or a little bit.
All right, let's take a look.
Hold on, I'll take it.
The best part of this documentary is going to be this stuff that I just shot, because it was the best looking stuff that's going to be in this. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
Nice one.
Duh. I took a sip of this and I went, Dad?
Carson, are you there? Are you out having fun someplace now? Anyways, give me a call. Just wanted to check in with you after your victory, even though you may not know it today. Take care. Give me a call. Bye.